Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and in just a moment, we're going to be looking at some PLO hands that I have played. We were supposed to be doing something with Martin today, but he's had some technical issues with his computer. So, for the second week running, technical issues have kind of screwed us. Um, so, there's nothing we can do about that. It's just one of those things. So, we're going to just review some PLO hands that I've been playing. I played PLO yesterday. I was just kind of it was basically it started in the morning. I logged into my usual site and the games were just shit, but I wanted to play. So then I logged into Party Poker, played some 25 fast fold PLO. Um, Enjoyed it, but I thought the games weren't great because it's fast fold and I don't care what format you're playing. That's never a great format to play. But I still want to play PLO, so I just lobbed a little bit of money on Grosvenor and decided to just play some 10 PLO just to play and enjoy myself, really. Um, and then I was in the Discord group I'm in. There's a PLO player in there who's like long-term PLO player. I think he's pretty decent. We had a hand review session last night because I marked a ton of hands, and I was pleasantly surprised by how often I said things, and he didn't say "stop being a fucking moron, Reg," and then also how often he agreed with things I was saying, and how often I found myself agreeing, like having the same thought process that um, he was saying to me. So yeah, it gave me quite a bit of confidence. So we had a PLO session this morning. The tenant PLO had one game going, so I played 20. I don't have a bankroll on Grosvenor for playing 20, but I did it anyway because why not? But these are 10 PLO hands. I've marked the 20 PLO hands to review with the gentleman I spoke to last night, and also my friend JP Monies. If you watch this, I don't know if you watch my videos or not. I think you watch some of them. I suspect you might watch this because it's PLO. Um, don't think you can hide, sir. Do not think you can hide. We will be having a chat and doing some hand reviews. And if you think it's going to be half an hour, then think again. Put an hour or so aside at least. And I will be tapping into your knowledge and experience too. But without further ado, let's look at these hands and I'll just explain what I was thinking. And if you're into PLO yourself, please do comment if on my thought process. If you agree with them, please comment to give me some positive reinforcement. If I say something that you disagree with, then again, please comment. Try and correct my thought processes. It might be that my thought process is better than yours, and you're saying something that isn't correct. But comment anyway, um, because it's always good to get feedback. So yeah, let's get stuck in. We open this hand in the under the gun position to pot. We get 3-bet by pretty loose passive player. Playing 42-10, 6% 3-bet, small sample, but generally speaking, the 42-10 does basically indicate loose passive, and then these are his aggression stats post flop. They're just like bet percentage per street. That I don't know um, how good that's going to be in terms of like relevant to how often people should be betting post flop in PLO, but it's going to give me an idea when I start to see that population comes out. It's going to give me an idea as to how aggressive our passive players are post flop, which is all it's there for. It's not there for anything else. So anyway, we get 3-bet. Then we get the cold 4-bet from this dude who's playing 83-63 and he's just basically he's just a punter. And it comes back to us, and we've got like suited kings with an ace. I think like if we just had kings, no ace, I would fold here. But I think something that my pal said to me last night was basically um, you can play these like suited king. How did he word it exactly? It don't think it was relevant to this spot actually. I think he was like, yeah, you could pretty much just get it in pre-flop with kings with an ace. But I think that was in like a heads-up situation. Um, and maybe I'm misremembering what he said, but this is not a heads up situation. This is under the gun middle position and cut off. Maybe this is just going to be a punt from me because we're obviously not folding because I'm reviewing it, or I'm presuming I'm not folding because I'm reviewing it. Do we just like rebang here? Do we just call? Do we fold? I haven't got a fucking clue. Let's see what I did. Oh, I did just fold. Fair enough. Well, not much else to review here then, is there? I guess that was just a pre-flop question. This guy had pretty much the same hand, kings with an ace, but different suits. And this dude just had that. So yeah, maybe I think that's a reasonable full pre-flop. Think. Go back. We had he had a slightly better hand than us because we only had one suit with our kings, and he was double suited. Oh, yeah, he had a far better hand than us. Not surprised given his stats. On to the next one. We are opening the double suited king queen. I'd rather these cards were higher, like 8 9, 10 jack, 10 9, that sort of thing, but they're not, so tough shit. We get min 3 bet by this dude who's, again, he's here for all the pots, all the flops. I think we just have a trivially easy call here. Nothing else to say about that. Don't think we're just literally never folding and we're never 4-betting, so we're just calling. And everyone calls, of course. And then we flop a pair with a couple of backdoors. He checks. Don't expect there's any reason to bet here. As usual, when I'm doing these hand reviews, I don't remember any of the hands, but I can't think of a good reason to bet here. We have a second pair. We have some backdoor stuff going on. Yeah, just check, I guess. Checks through. We turn 2 pairs. I don't even know how you describe that. Middle and bottom pair. I don't fucking know how you described our 2-pair holding. But we also pick up a flush draw. Checks to us again. I don't know now if we should be betting or not. Feels like we should have quite a lot of equity. But how well do we do against... Did we bet here and someone raises? Are we just fucked? We're probably behind a... when we have the nut flush draw, but we're almost certainly going to be behind all the made hands, you would imagine. I don't know. Don't know. We check again, and it checks through. And then on the river, it comes an ace and counterfeits us. Checks again. And again, I'm lost. I'm lost as what to do. Do we... We don't value bet anymore. I don't think we have a value hand. Can we check call? I don't think. I've not got a clue. I haven't got a clue. Oh, we just check it all the way through. Okay. And those were the hands that we were up against. Not a thing. Probably not a thing. Don't know. It's not a thing when you 4-bet. 3-bet, min 3 bets. Don't know, but games were good. And if I was any good, I'd have a license to print money. I'm hoping to get good. Limper here. I saw the button. The pretty one. Rather it was double suited, but it isn't. I'd rather have a 9-inch penis, but I don't. He min raises. We're just going to call, I guess. And we flop trips. So let's see what happens. He now bets. I remember this hand. I think I butchered this one. I think I'm about to raise, and I don't think we should have any raises whatsoever here. Yeah, I don't think we should do this. I guess I was just hoping he would just not give a fuck with aces and put the money in. But I don't. I think this is such a dry fucking board. He probably. I mean, who knows? I mean, he might just have random weird straight draws because he's 83-8. He might be doing all kinds of weird shit, you know. So there's a world where he can have some equity here, but this is just no. This is bad. As soon as I did this, why have you done that for, Reg? And he did just fold, and I think that's a pretty fucking huge mistake. It's very likely he's just drawing dead or close to dead. And I just got greedy, basically. So this guy's a whopper. He's not going to fold. He's if he's got an overpair, he's not folding it. Just get the money in now. And that's a big mistake from me. Big, big mistake. And that's not me being result orientated. I just genuinely, as soon as I did, I'm like, why have you just done that, Reg? There's literally nothing to be scared of. If he's got the 8, 7, 10 or whatever, then good for him. He's got some equity, but yeah, disappointed with that one. Two kings with suit. Don't flop very well whatsoever. In fact, we flopped pretty badly. He's basically got an overpair with a crummy little backdoor flush draw. Checking, which I think seems probably standard. And I'd be checking King King here in No Limit Hold'em multi-way probably. So in PLO it seems even more of a check. Then we do turn a set. So I guess now it's just a question of like bet sizing. And given that no one bet the flop, I'm going to presume that the 8-5 or the 5-3 aren't going to be out there all of the time. They might still be out there sometimes. People love to trap sometimes, don't they? But I think generally speaking, we've got the nuts. I check again for some reason, no? Isn't it interesting how, like, when you're in game, you do different things to what you. Because to me, this just seems like a mandatory, like, just bet half pot. Bet half pot, bet even 1/3 pot. Why didn't I bet? This guy does bet now. See, now is our hand. Do we want to check raise this hand now? We're going to fold out too many hands if we check raise that we've got crushed. We don't have any clubs, so he could have a flush draw that would give us some value on a check raise. Or do we just check call and then rely on him maybe bluffing rivers? Don't know. What did I do? I did just call. River's a queen, and obviously we're just going to have to check again now. And I guess, do we check raise fold if he bets? Depends on his size, I guess. He does just check back. Well, if he bets, say, a half pot again there, would we check raise? Would be like, he bets half pots, that's going to put 33 in. Do we make it like 40 and fold to a shove? Top set? Do we just check? No, I think check call would be too weak. I think check raise fold would be the line, but fuck me, it'd be grim. It would be grim. Anyway, he turned up with that. I think he should probably bluff the river. Can't imagine. I mean, he's probably checked back because he either thinks he has showdown value or he's just giving up. But I think the way he played it, if I was in his shoes, and I wouldn't be because I wouldn't have flatted that hand pre. But if I had a similar hand strength that had played, a similar hand strength post flop, I think I would have bluffed that river after like my opponent, who was a pre-flop raiser, checked, then check calls, turn and checks river. I mean, it wouldn't have worked because I would have run into top set, but I think I would have bluffed that river in his shoes. On to the next one. Excuse me. So we got a. This guy was the closest thing to a reg that I saw all night. I've got some hands on him from previous incarnations playing this game. And if you are watching this Poussin and you think, oh, I haven't got that many hands on Grandad Dredge, I change my name frequently on iPoker because you're allowed to do it. So that'll be why. So we just call. I guess that's reasonable. Don't really want to like reopen the betting against this guy. We don't mind keeping this guy in, so I think calls seems like a standard play to me. We flop ourselves. Not that great. Flush draw. Some like shitty little backdoor. We got backdoor hearts, front door spades, and backdoor straight draw. That's not going to be a good one. We checks through. Turn the nut flush draw now to go with our front door non-nut flush draw. Guy checks again. We check again. I think it's reasonable, and I don't think we're going to get too many folds. Maybe we can just block though. Is this guy likely to? We just say this guy has an ace here, for example, or say he's got ace deuce, something like that. Good chance he might pot the turn, then we have to call. If we block, does he then raise with just like top and bottom pair? Wouldn't have thought he would. So maybe block would be better here. But we check through. When we river a small flush, I think we should bet now, surely, Reg. Do we? Is this too thin? This is why I tagged the hand, because I was wondering if it was too thin to bet this river. I mean, we have a flush. It's not a very good one. I don't know. I clearly thought it was too thin at the time. And I still don't know. So we have a limp from a very high VP player. We have an ISO from someone who's pretty loose passive. So far, he has isolated only 3 times from 15. So then this guy calls. Is our hand too weak to squeeze here? Suspect it is. I think it was double suited. I think if like the jack was a spade or whatever, the king was a diamond, maybe then we could squeeze. I think it's probably just going to call with it only being one suit and no nut suits, which is what we did. Flop ourselves top 2 pair. Check, 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 check. Turn straight with the queen 9, but it's not the nuts. Check. I elect to block 1/3. And raise. And raise big as well. I don't think we have any business continuing here. The guy's just saying he's got ace queen. If he does, we're drawing stone dead. Well, we're drawing dead to a chop on an ace. I think this is just a fold. Yeah, I think it's just a fold. And I guess my question is, does that block? I mean, I think that block's got to be fine. It has to be fine, doesn't it? And then this guy's just like pot raising. Significant. I don't think he's doing that with the bluff. I mean, the turn is his most aggressive street based on these stats by a long, long way. But nevertheless, I mean, it's not just this street, it's the next street too. I mean, if we call this, we're just committed to calling all brick rivers. And do we really want to just put close to 100 bigs in with the second nuts versus a passive player in PLO? Probably not. Probably not. Moving on, we get a absolute maniac raising under the gun. Get a call from a very loose passive player. Don't think his hand's good enough to squeeze, but I think against these two players, we want to be in the pot. If it was Queen King of Diamonds, 7-6 of Spades, maybe less so. But because that we have the Queen High Flush Draw and a King High Flush Draw, both of which could get us in trouble in general. I think against these two player types, we just need to be in the pot. Again, that could be a big mistake. Like going multi-way with 2 non-nut flush draws that could get you in trouble could be a big, big mistake, especially when we're in the small blind. Maybe we just don't have any flats from the small blind. Don't know, but I wanted to be in there with these two guys. Then we flop pretty well. Good shot. Second nut flush draw. We check. He checks. He checks. Oh, sorry. He bets full pot. So I guess the question here is, I was just running against a 98.49 guy. We're going to have more than enough equity versus his entire range for doing this. I mean, he c-bets 93%. He c-bet 88% multi-way, albeit a tiny sample. But the guy's just out there mashing buttons. So against him, we have like a shit ton of equity. then I guess we just want to like try and force this guy out. And if we pot it here, if we reopen the betting and this guy just goes with it, tough shit for us. I think that's a pretty standard spot. Once I don't know if pre-flops should be a fold, but I think once we reach this flop, this is pretty standard to just raise, which is what we did. This guy then re-raised. I'm like, no, now we're in trouble. This guy obviously calls, we call, and we tear off the flush on the turn. And I mean that. Don't know what's going on there. But we can tag him. I mistagged him last night. I mean that just fold pre versus a bet, albeit a C bet from Maniac and a raise fold flop. Were we favourite on the flop here? Multi-way? Probably not. But we can't be far off. He's blocking our out significantly. He's got a spade and he's got two jacks. So no, we're not a favourite on the flop, are we? But is there any way we can like look at what the odds were? View hand details. What equity did we have on the flop? Grandpa Reg on the flop, 50% on the main and 54 on the side. So yeah, we were just about a favourite, and that's with the worst hand. There you go. That's PLO for you. Get it in with the worst hand in terms of like actual hand strength and be a slight favourite. And with all that dead money in there, obviously it's a pretty plus EV situation. Pot open, call from a blue tag, flop the world without having anything. Check. Bet small. I mean, can we just bet bigger here? We've got that much equity. I think I'm slightly overdoing these small bets. We just have so much equity here. Maybe we just bet a little bit bigger. Not pot or anything like that, but maybe just like bet half pot, 2/3 pot. Don't think it matters that much. But maybe it does. Anyway, the villain calls. We bang off the second nuts on the turn. He now leads 1/3. And again, based on small sample size, the turn is his most aggressive street. See what his form for donking turn was. 3 out of 4. So this was kind of like just what he was doing. We just call. Maybe we can raise small there against someone with a 60 odd VPIP. Board pairs a river. He checks. And now we have a slam dunk value bet. What size? I think like anything 2/3, 3/4 potish. What reg? You what reg? I guess because the board's paired have just shit me knickers, but he's betting the river reg. If he's got a full house, he's betting the river. You fucking fat idiot. Now that is not good, Reg. This is really, really bad. Just a slam dunk bet. This is terrible from me. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, we're probably getting a little bit from that hand. That is really bad. Not at all happy with that. Why is that just going over that all of a sudden? Don't like that. I'll just put you down there. And maybe it hasn't been all of a sudden. Maybe it's done it all video and I've only just noticed. But yeah, stop. That's really, really bad, Reg. You can't be missing value like that. And that would have been a conscious decision. I'm not going to lie. That would have been like, oh, second nut flush, board paired, check back. What a fanny. What an absolute fanny. Open the jack 9/9, jack 10 from this position without a suit. Don't like that. I think it's maybe too loose. If anyone has any like pre-flop charts for PLO or pre-flop, whatever it is, they have matrices. If that is too loose, please let me know. Feels like it might be. Flopper, open and straight draw. Block, which I think is reasonable. I've been doing this in an attempt to pot control because my logic is if we check, then like pot is a size people like using a lot in these games. But I think when we bet, their range, if we check, their range for betting widens. I think, especially these types of players, and then their size of choice is most likely going to be pot. But when they face a C bet, they're less likely to click the pot button because they're not going to have as many raises versus C bets as they are pot bets versus checks. Maybe that's my logic I'm working on. So I'm actually doing this as like a way of like trying to pot control because I don't think we're going to get raised anywhere near as wide as they will bet if we check. That could be flawed logic, but that's what I'm working with at the moment. Turn a pair. Don't think we want to bet anymore. I think betting now is going to be. Well, we turn a pair, and does that improve us at all in terms of like draws? A 7 now. A 7 gives us a straight, doesn't it? But it's a shit straight. No, I don't think that really improves our equity. So we do check. Bets full pot. Guess we just fold now. We've got dirty outs. I mean, he might already have a straight, in which case we're drawing to a chop at best. And our outs are dirty with diamonds. It's basically just a pretty simple fold. Water edge. You water edge. It's the second hand you played badly in a fucking row. What are you doing? This is not good. This will just be me not wanting to fold to someone displaying this level of recklessness. But I think we just still have a fold. I mean, yeah, the guy is an absolute maniac. And he's very aggressive in every situation, but I think this is still just a fold. And then we break the river, we check. He checks back. And yeah, he had the straight on the turn. So yeah, I think that's a bad call on the turn by me. Here we are opening the double suited ace king 10. 3-bet by somebody who, I remember this guy. Look at his 3-bet start. He was 53% 3-bet. He was mental. He was mental. I don't think I should 4-bet here. Maybe I should do against someone. I think. Do we just see a flop and then see what happens? Are we willing to just like run it against this guy? I guess we probably are. And if he's given his 3-betting 53%, he's going to have a lot of stuff in his range that we just dominate. Yeah, this is probably fine. I don't know though. I can't be certain, but I think I was willing to just run it against this guy at this point. But like his range for 3-betting and his range for like 5-bet get it in might be very different. Anyway, he calls. We get a thoroughly miserable flop. We just check fold. We open the aces with the suit. Everyone calls. Flop ourselves an overpair and a top pair. Trivial check. Checks around. I'm not sure where this pot's in here. Because it doesn't look like a pot I'm going to want to put a lot of money into. I mean, looks like I'm going to call this bet, and I don't know why. This is a terrible call. I think. What? Reg, what are you doing, mate? Don't get this. This is bad. I mean, obviously, I'm turning my ace into a bluff. I'm not doing that for value. I'm turning my ace into a bluff. Well, I just don't know. That is another very badly played hand. And I'm clearly like bluffing there. I'm not doing that for value. No, I don't know. Can't explain that one. So I'm not going to try. Just bad. It's just flat out bad. Seems like a reasonable open. Flop ourselves. Pair plus gut shot. C-bet for the same reasons as we C-bet earlier. I mentioned earlier about like just basically blocking to pot control. Calling 2 spots. Turn queen. Do we bet again here? Again, just trying to control the pot. Like, to go with another block. If we check and we face pot or like larger bet, it's uncomfortable. We actually have an open end and not a good shot. Yes, we do go with block again. This could be a really shit strategy that I'm employing here and just getting away with it. Called in multiple spots again, and then we river 3 of a kind. I remember this spot now because I checked here and I wasn't sure if I should value bet or not. And I think the answer to that is yes. I mean, it's just run out so bricky. Yeah. I checked and I was just hoping he might have like bluff with like a 6, 7, 8, 9 type hand or something like that, or just some random straight draws that missed. Maybe try and value bet too thinly. Don't know. But he just clearly never bluffs because if he's not bluffing that, he's not bluffing anything. And this kind of 5, so we definitely miss some value. And that's the end of the hands I marked for review. I think I marked some fun ones, so we'll look at them as well. So we'll just quickly whiz through these ones. And we've got the wrong fucking hood up again. And then it's fucking gone wonky again. So yeah, these are just going to be ones that I consider to be fun. Raise, call, squeeze, call, fold, call, call. So with just a 4-way 67 big blind flop to go to. Flop ourselves a top set. Bet half pot. Don't know if we should bet smaller. To bet anyway. Call. All in. Well, yeah. Okay, let's do it then. 3-way all in. We've got the nuts. And we're up against a set. And whatever the fuck that is. Thank you very much, Squire. That was a very generous donation and a 200 big blind victory. Same table. Pot open. We just flat the button because we have like super dry aces. Squeeze from our friend from the last pot. Call. 4-bet. Right. Okay then. Let's just put 134 big blinds in pre-flop and not be all in. Against someone who's going to call and not be all in. So he does call. He obviously calls. Played a fucking huge pot. 373 big blinds in the pot. We haven't seen a fucking flop yet. And I was just, well, I'm all in, aren't I? Because what else am I going to fucking do? If this guy's got the cure for me, he's got the cure for me. So he checks. I went all in. He found the snap fold. And we beat the ace king 8-6. And this is the last hand of the video. Open, same table, it's the same table. Open the double suited aces, get a call from the closest thing to a reg that I saw all night, and a call. Flop top set again, how remarkable. Bet 2/3 pot, I think it's probably too big, probably should bet smaller. Get check raised anyway. Ah, yes, I remember this one. Um, I talked about this briefly with my friend last night. Could I just call a flop? And then he bets a turn. We pick up the flush draw, and I ended up raising, and I think it's a damn huge mistake. I wanted to raise so we could like make sure we get stacks in on the river, because if we just call here, then we're still going to be like over 1 SPR for the river, and then if he checks, we just can't jam. So I'd raised, and I shouldn't have done it. If I did, I should have raised far smaller. And this guy just folded jacks face up. He just folded and showed me 2 jacks. I was like, fucking hell. I have been absolutely owned there. Absolutely owned as fuck. He's basically just picked me up, rolled me up into a ball, and put me in the fucking bin. So yeah, that was like, what, mate? Just folding second set. I mean, I am literally mega phoning that I've got 2 aces. But I just thought I was getting the action. His check raise flop, his bet turn. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got a set. Let's go, dude. I was very confident he just had to have like a set of jacks or a set of eights, and I was just very confident he wasn't going to fold it. And he just did. And I felt fucking stupid. So there we go. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed my day playing PLO. I'm going to play some more later. But for now, I'm out of here. As always, fuck the Tories and anyone who supports them. And we'll see you whenever we see you next. Take care and bye bye for now.